All right, guys. I think we're live. Give me a moment here. Gotta get the back end of the stream up here. All right. How we doing? Hope you're having a lovely evening. Sorry that we started so late today. That obviously wasn't in the original plans. We were supposed to start like an hour ago, but you know, things came up. Life, family, parenting stuff. What's going on? Chris Lanzer, Kappa, Crazes Koth, Eric Winstead, Mr. Trumblow, Random Guy, Rainbow Love. Showing the love. We got Tall Show here, True Dude, Cody B, Christopher Colazzo, I Eat ERT, the Funkelheimers is here as well. All right, how you guys doing? I hope you're having a good evening. We are doing shots for super chats and stuff tonight, so that's all cool. $5, $10, $20, $50, $100. Those are like the shot levels, different levels of alcohol we do for that. By the way, if you're gonna have any drinks with me tonight, please drink responsibly. Don't drink Wisconsinly. Don't try to keep up with me. I literally can handle way more than any normal human can, and I do get regular checks on my liver. So I know my liver is healthy and I'm able to do this kind of stuff. Now, one thing I do want to note as well is we typically do song requests as well for $2 super chats and or $5 super chats. Again, no one ever has to super chat. I just kind of go over this preamble at the beginning of the stream just to kind of get it out of the way so people are made aware, but no one ever has to super chat. I just appreciate the support. All right. So we got to get into some stuff here. We have... I'm never going to be able to pronounce dirt or dirt as dirt, D-R-T. It's just not the same pronunciation. Anyways, some interesting stuff's been going on. Obviously, you guys know we've had our fair share of rumors. There's been a lot of rumors around Nintendo Switch 2. Like it's been that way for over a year. I would say Switch 2 rumors truly began in earnest probably back in 2022. A smidge before the NVIDIA leaks, which was a real thing. NVIDIA confirmed, yada, yada. So we had the NVIDIA leaks back in 2022, and we've just had a bevy of rumors pretty much since then. We went a period last year where we really didn't get any Switch 2 rumors. That was mostly from around, I would say around April until about August or so last year. We really didn't get a bunch of Switch 2 rumors, which was mostly fine. I mean, it was definitely fine for me as a gamer and as a channel. I mean, heck, we were covering Tears of the Kingdom, then Pikmin, then Mario Wonder. So like we had a lot of stuff to talk about anyways. We didn't really need to worry about Switch 2. And then Switch 2 rumors started picking up from Gamescom on forward. And then we had the delay, the supposed rumored delay back in February. And then you get to where it went on a little bit of a hiatus and now the rumors are back again. Now, what I find fascinating about the rumors are just how cyclical they seem to be. Like right now we're getting a bunch of them. And then if Nintendo announces nothing on May 7th, chances are the rumors are just going to stop for like a month and then start up again sometime at the end of June. Kind of weird how cyclical the Switch 2 rumors are. It's also funny because I don't control them. It's not as if I make them appear. They just exist. The funny thing too is obviously today we had the PRO stuff. If you guys haven't seen the PRO stuff, we don't know what this is. I made a video on it. By now, you know, it's hard to know what it meant here. But obviously we had the PRO stuff here. This is not, by the way, what the topic's about, but this is just a thing he's teasing. We don't know if it's Nintendo World Championships happening again this summer. We don't know if it means one of the games from this is coming to NSO, which just isn't really how PRO teases NSO announcements, but you never know. Some people have speculated that maybe it's related to the Switch because of all the SW codes. Obviously, no one is saying that this is altered because this isn't altered. This is an image of an actual Nintendo World Championship 1990 card. But anyways, so there's that, right? And people are speculating away on that. I speculated away. You guys speculated away, right? We have a video on that already. And we can talk about that tonight too if people want. But that's not what this video is about. Something interesting happened with Endless Ocean Luminous. And there's something interesting makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense. Because this, to me, features things that really wouldn't be there outside of a new platform. Now, I'm not saying that Endless Ocean Luminous takes advantage of any of these things, but they are present. This is what I find interesting, because Endless Ocean Luminous uses an engine, right? Every game has an engine behind it. And the engine that it's using is called the NintendoWare Bezel engine, okay? That is literally what they call the engine, okay? This engine isn't just used for Endless Ocean Luminous. It is used for other games as well. It has been used for WarioWare games, both of the WarioWare games on Switch, the Mario Party titles as well, Tetris 99, and a few third parties as well have chosen to use the NintendoWare Bezel engine, which, yes, if you didn't know, is a Nintendo-owned internal engine, okay? So this is literally an engine that Nintendo owns. They don't use it on a lot of their major games, but it is one that they do use on some of them, and they let third parties use it. They probably license it from Nintendo, etc. Okay. So that's like just some like basic background. What we're talking about here is this engine that Endless Ocean Luminous is using, because Endless Ocean Luminous is using a brand new version of this engine. Okay, fine. Why does that matter? Well, it turns out this engine has features the Nintendo Switch does not support. Keep in mind, this engine is Nintendo's internal engine. One of them. They have several internal engines. And it supports features that are not present on Switch. What are we talking about? Well, I don't know if you guys know who this guy is. We got a guy over here named Oatmeal Dome. All right? Oatmeal Dome is a well-known, how to put this? I don't want to say like a hacker, but more like a data miner, I suppose is probably the best way to do it. And obviously he was involved with data mining up the hell out of Endless Ocean Luminous. And through the code, we have discovered things about this NintendoWare Bezel engine that weren't present in the prior games that used it. As an example, the latest version of the engine, which is what Endless Ocean Luminous uses, none of the other games that you use that have this version, supports higher frame rates like 240 FPS. 240 FPS. Now, I'm not saying the Nintendo Switch 2 will come with a screen on it that supports 240 FPS, but what if Nintendo supports higher than 60 FPS in docked mode? I'm just saying, 240 FPS seems insane to me that this is what the engine supports when nothing Nintendo has can actually output 240 FPS. But if this engine's going to be being used on Switch 2 for some games, maybe Nintendo will allow higher than 60 FPS in some circumstances in docked mode. Obviously, those circumstances would be the games that don't require as much power. Or maybe DLSS is just running crazy and they got certain Switch games ported into Switch 2 that are running at 200 plus frames a second. I have no idea. So this engine supports this in this version. But that's not it. That's not it. It also has variable frame rate mode. So if you don't know what that is, it's like a variable refresh rate, which again is not something the Nintendo Switch supports. It is a feature set that enables you to have these high frame rates, but it is again not something Nintendo Switch actually supports. But now it's present in this engine being used in Endless Ocean Luminous. Now, Endless Ocean Luminous is running at 30 FPS, okay? So it's running in fixed frame rate mode. This is the mode it's actually running at, and this is the actual frame rate of Endless Ocean Luminous. So it's not taking advantage of the variable frame rate, and it's not taking advantage of variable refresh rates and 240 hertz. But the engine, for some damn reason, supports it, and I don't know why. Now, we'll do some more digging into this and maybe cover it in a video tomorrow. But I don't get why this engine supports variable refresh rate and 240 FPS for a platform that can't do either of those things. So you go down, he gives more background on it, says, Endless Ocean Luminous uses a new version of this engine where this mode was found. The past Bezel engine games include, and then it goes over those games I already mentioned. Should really note that just because the engine supports it doesn't mean that it'll actually be used in games. I mean, that's obviously a given. An engine supporting feature sets doesn't mean it'll ever actually be used. He's just noting that because he obviously knows it being present in the engine is a pretty big deal. Because why would you have all this mode in there when nothing Nintendo has supports it, unless something Nintendo has coming out might support variable refresh rate, which is already something we've never even talked about. Variable refresh rate. That is literally not something we've even mentioned in the breadth of Nintendo Switch 2, let alone the fact that it might support in certain circumstances in docked mode more than 60 frames a second. That to me is some major revelations that, again, I find to be fascinating. Now, I see some other people. First off, we gotta get this super chat up. Taker610 reminded me, Rip Bucks. Hey, man. All right, look, the Bucks got destroyed tonight. Honestly, we thought this was gonna happen last game, so it happened this game. It is what it is. Rip to the Bucks and their NBA season. Thanks for reminding me. I'll get a beer out for you in a moment. So what I just find fascinating about this whole thing, from a personal perspective, I don't know why Spring Chicken hasn't updated yet. That should update it by now. Are my alerts not working? The alerts should be working. We'll give it a moment, see if it updates. What I find fascinating about this is someone that mentioned, like, hey, maybe it's getting a PC port. You think Nintendo's about to publish their games on PC? Is that what you... hey, we can't rule it out. Sony does it. Microsoft obviously does it. Do you think Nintendo's about to publish games on PC? Does that seem very Nintendo-like? Does that seem very Nintendo-like? To me, it doesn't seem very Nintendo-like. But maybe. What it does mean is somebody at Nintendo has been messing around with it. Somebody's been messing around. Now, Dr. Martin von Nostrand brings up a good point. Variable refresh rate isn't even supported in 95% of HD TVs yet. I highly doubt Nintendo of all would have variable refresh rate. So here's the thing. The variable refresh rate is an interesting concept that requires support both in the hardware platform, in the software, the engine, and on the actual display, right? Variable refresh rate itself specifically needs all of that support. Now, what I don't know is if this is exactly variable refresh rate. It just says variable frame rate. So that's the, if you look at it here, it doesn't say variable, like I'm relating it to variable refresh rate. I don't know if this is a different version that wouldn't require it on the TV and is more so, hey, don't let the game run below this, but it can max out at that. I'm not exactly sure. That is a lot how variable refresh rate works. That's something that I'm not really 100% positive that it is VRR 100% because it doesn't actually say that. It just seems to suggest something like that. This could be a different technology, of course. It's just the point that it exists in the first place, which to me is just insane because nothing Nintendo has right now can even support anywhere close to 200 FPS. Can't even support 120 FPS. Can't support 65 because you can't go above 60 with Nintendo's current hardware. So it means Nintendo's been messing around with higher frame rates with something. It might not have been with Endless Ocean Luminous, but they've been messing around with it with something. What that is, if it ever comes out, that we don't know. Take a shot every time Nintendo Prime says fascinating. Do not do that. Why isn't my stuff popping up? Let me go to... Let's see what the hell's going on here. What is going on, Streamlabs? Why aren't you popping my alerts, man? What do I pay you for? Those alerts should be popping up. What? Is my channel not connected? Wait, what? Oh, it's connected. All right, where are we at then? What is going on? They changed everything. Don't change things on me. It's got subscriptions. Why doesn't it have super chats? Where is my super suit? What are you doing to me? Why are my super chats not showing up? I don't know what's happening. The super chats, I can show them on screen, but they're not popping up for spring chicken. I don't know. Anyways, I'll put the total on screen at $4. I'll go grab a beer quick. I find this just all to be fascinating. Let me get to the chat and see what some of you guys think about this whole 240 hertz craziness in a Nintendo engine. I kind of need a beer after that Bucks loss, man. Season over. Now on to just cheer on baseball until football season begins. All right. Go ahead and sweep away that. Get a couple drinks in for you guys. I'm not going to become a T-Wolves fan. I'm not even going to watch the rest of the NBA playoffs. I'm good. I shouldn't say that. I'll vaguely pay attention. I'm not going to be super into the games though. Isn't there supposed to be a Call of Duty game for Switch this year? We don't know because we know Nintendo's supposed to have 10 straight years of Call of Duty support, but we don't know if that support begins with the current platform or the next because we don't know the particulars of the contract. So that would require contractual knowledge that we do not have. We do know that it's 10 years in a row. We don't know what the stipulation is for when the contract begins. So we could have a Call of Duty on Switch this year, or maybe we don't. So that is something that's going to depend on what the stipulations in the contract were. If it begins with the next hardware or if it's on the current, yada yada. We're not going to get a Nintendo Prime Funko Pop, I can tell you that. Maybe for the NVIDIA GeForce Now. The Switch 2 has the Samsung OLED panels. Will it have 144 hertz? I'm going to tell you right now, whatever screen the Nintendo Switch has, LCD, OLED, whatever, it's going to be a 60 hertz panel. There's no way they're going higher than 60 hertz. You could argue that you could maybe go 75. I don't think they're going with anything other than a 60 hertz panel. But this would obviously be for dock mode. This would be specific to if you're playing on a TV, maybe you could have higher frame rates. Now, again, that doesn't mean Nintendo games are all going to suddenly run. I mean, we're just hoping just at stable 1080p 60, right? That's what a lot of people are hoping. But there are obviously specific games that aren't the most graphically, visually intense stuff that maybe could run at higher frame rates. A lot of indie games, as an example, could maybe run at higher frame rates. So, there would be some reason to have support for higher frame rates on Switch 2. Now, this doesn't mean Switch 2 is going to have the higher frame rates. It just means that Nintendo's actually played around with an internal engine that they created that supports it. So, could be for other things. PC. If they ever decide to bring it to PC, as an example, if they decide to port games. I don't think Nintendo's going that route. Imagine them porting things like Mario Party to PC just doesn't feel like a very Nintendo thing to do. I think it's much more likely to be something they just messed around with for their new platform, and whether or not they use it is yet to be seen. Also, going to be more for monitor support too. Yeah, it could literally be more. Some people play on monitors. It maybe it was something pushed by NVIDIA to have more monitor support for Switch. When I'm streaming with you guys, I'm playing my Switch on a monitor. Some people actually just game on monitors. They don't even have TVs in their house. I know that seems crazy, but some people don't have TVs in their house and they actually game on monitors. That is something some people do. I'm not going to say that's the most popular way to play consoles, but it is something that exists. So if it is like a variable refresh rate thing, well, then it could be specifically for monitors, and there's a ton of monitors that support variable refresh rate too. So, in your younger days, were you able to do the split like Jean-Claude Van Damme? No, Mojo Horizon. Would you do a split in the cruise to impress Yulia? No. I would prefer to not injure myself while on the cruise. That would be great, because it would kind of ruin my vacation if I got seriously hurt. Rainbow Love says, super off topic, but I never noticed the YouTube plaque in the background. What's that? That plaque right there, that one, that is the 100,000 subscriber plaque that we got for crossing 100K in April of 2023. I will not get another one unless we hit 1 million subscribers. That's next for this channel. I mean, that's not next. We're trying to get to 150,000, but 1 million subscribers is where we get the gold plaque. We also have the Nintendo podcast Clips channel. If that somehow ever gets to 100,000 subscribers, that channel would get one of those plaques as well. If you guys don't know about that channel, that's all right because it's brand new. It came into existence like yesterday. I can go ahead and link you guys to it if you want. If you don't have time to watch our super long podcast episodes, our 2-hour episodes or whatever, that is totally fine. That I understand. But what you could do instead is check out Clips, where we cut out segments of our podcast and put it up on our Clips channel. So let me go ahead and grab a link to that Clips channel in case you want to go subscribe to that. We already have a clip up with Mario 64 versus Mario Odyssey. That clip is up. So let me go ahead and put this in the streamer for you guys. If you guys want to go ahead and subscribe to that channel, check it out. Tomorrow's clip. What was topic 2 of the podcast last night? It was I think it's the 30 FPS debate. If it matters or not to people for 1,000 Year Door. That's going to be the next one tomorrow. And then the one after that is going to be a Metroid Prime 4 thing. And then after that, it's going to be a Switch 2 thing. So we already got like our clips kind of lined up going all the way over to whatever. And that channel is not monetized or anything. It can't be monetized. Doesn't have enough watch hours. Doesn't have enough subscribers. You need like 1,000 subscribers. You need 4,000 watch hours in like a month. It's pretty crazy. Which I say that's pretty crazy, right? 4,000 watch hours in like a month. I think it's actually like 90 days. But then I glance at my main channel, right? The stats on my main channel. And we have, let me see, just looking at the month of April, which was kind of a down month for us. We had 23,000 watch hours last month. If I could transfer about 4K of those over to that channel, I'd be cool with that. I don't know if we'd even make any money on the channel, but that's besides the point. It's a great way to get our podcast in smaller segments every day. So, I shouldn't say every day. A lot of days. There'll be like 4 or 5 uploads there every single week, which is pretty cool. So you can just watch the segments you care about. People are always like, why don't you just put chapters in your podcast? One, it's a live podcast. It's hard to put chapters in, but what we are doing is taking those segments and the ones you care about, go watch them on the Nintendo Podcast Clips channel. It's a great way to enjoy just the stuff you care about. And that's all that channel is going to be, clips. I'm not saying that there won't ever be a chance we upload clips of other things there, like clips of live streams or clips of Nintendo Direct events. But we didn't want to clog this channel with the clips. And we know that some people really do appreciate having individual segments clipped out. So there you go. So yeah, if you guys want to subscribe, I already saw a couple of people subscribe. So thank you guys so much for that. Obviously, I have no idea how long it's going to take to get that channel where we'd like it to be. We already got 33 views on our first clip that we uploaded earlier today. So we'll have another one going up tomorrow. We're just going to keep it going. We'll see. I wonder what our first 100-view clip is going to be. It's kind of crazy because it's a brand new YouTube channel. I haven't started a brand new YouTube channel in a long time. So to me, it's insane, like thinking about trying to build that channel up as like a brand new channel. It's kind of cool. It's just been a long time since I've had to do that. Let's see. Rainbow Love says, did you notice in the game cart picture, there are switches in the left corner and third switch in the on position while the others are in the off position? Yeah, that image is literally taken off of Google Images. So I don't know if that really means anything. It's hard to know what means anything on it because Pioro hasn't given us any hints and there's been nothing announced by Nintendo. Do I think it's using the Samsung OLED panels? That I don't know. One of the rumors is that it's an OLED, but then other rumors say it's LCD. I do think the dev kits are LCD screens, and that might be where the LCD information is mostly coming from, is people with dev kits are probably LCD screens. That doesn't mean that's what the final product will be, because dev kits aren't necessarily the final product. They're often very in ways like higher specs and all that. So we'll see. If it has an OLED or not. I mean, Nintendo needs to announce the damn thing. I will say, one argument for OLED is one, they already have an OLED system, right? So going from an OLED screen would make sense to go to another OLED screen. That would definitely make for a smoother transition for people going from OLEDs. But LCD technology has also come a long way. So if they're using like a QLED or some sort of quantum dot or any sort of technology that's a higher grade, mini LED. I don't know if they're using any of these techs, by the way. We have no idea. Samsung is right now reportedly the ones that maybe won the contract. What I do find interesting is we already know Samsung's involved with Nintendo. Literally, the screens inside Switch OLED are made by Samsung. So Nintendo already works with them. So it's not like a big leap to go, oh, well, they'll keep working with Samsung. Yeah, probably. I would assume they'll keep working with Samsung. Especially with all the issues going on with China right now. The Japan and China aren't getting along very well right now. Anyways, also going to be more for Monitor Sport 2. Yep, we already read that one. All right, get down to some more questions. Hey, we have another super chat come in. Oh, we had Brian C as well. Bravo, Brian! I forgot. Hey, we're going to go ahead and update our total. Brian C. There. See, now the spring chicken's working. All right. $5 shot. Let's get out the old Malibu here. Get out the old Malibu pineapple. Every time I get out Malibu, by the way, it just makes me be like, man, am I on the cruise yet? So I can go ahead and sip Mai Tais on the beach or on the balcony because we have a room with a balcony. Can I just like sip Mai Tais on the balcony with my lovely fiance in my arms and just feel the ocean breeze? Anyways. That's vacation. We're not on vacation right now. That's next month. Man, that's next month. Damn, that's coming up fast. Cheers. And then we had a $2 super chat from Sky Nicole. Thank you so much, Sky. All right. Have I already talked about the topic? Sure. Yes, I can go over it again quick. It was really quick to go over. Really quick to go over, but I'll go over the topic again because I know some people maybe didn't catch it. So Nintendo has an engine that they develop, known as the Nintendo Wear Bezel engine. And this is an engine that they don't use on a lot of their major games. They use on some of them, and they allow third parties to license it from them as well. And this engine is used in Endless Ocean Luminous. Now, that wouldn't be a big deal, except for the fact that Oatmeal Dome out here, who does some data mining, and he actually, I think someone else data mined this, he gives credit to. But this new version, Endless Ocean, uses a version different from other games. Other games that use it, by the way, are right here. So we have both WarioWare titles on Switch use the engine. Both Mario Party titles do. Tetris 99 uses it, and some third-party titles. But they're not using this version. They're using an older version. This version has support for higher frame rates, like 240 FPS. And it appears to be a type of variable refresh rate, or at least variable frame rate mode. So you see in frame rate mode here, frame rate mode is fixed. So this is the mode they're using. So they're using a fixed frame rate mode. Endless Ocean Luminous runs at 30 FPS. So that's what you're seeing here. But you'll see that they have a variable frame rate minimum, a variable frame rate max, a variable frame rate max limit enabled. False. Is fixed update substep enabled. True. So you're seeing that it's not turned on. But for some reason, and this is not present in the older versions of this Nintendo built engine, for some reason they have variable refresh rate, or some, if not exactly VRR, at least something that's similar, and they have support for up to 240 FPS. Don't know why, because none of Nintendo's platforms, again, support 240 FPS. So does this mean that Nintendo Switch, in specific situations, in docked mode, could support more than 60 frames per second? Say, if you're plugged into a variable refresh rate monitor or 120 hertz TV. Now, that's not saying that the games will run at that, but there are situations, and even on Switch, there could be situations where certain indie titles or certain smaller games could potentially run at more than 60 FPS. I'm not saying this is common. I'm not saying you should expect this from Nintendo's biggest games, but a side-scrolling Kirby game, as an example, could run at like 120 FPS, I'm sure. That's probably not an impossibility. on the new hardware. So I think it's kind of interesting to think about that Nintendo, this isn't confirmation that this is a feature for Nintendo Switch 2. That's not what we can say. What we can say is this isn't a rumor. This is in a Nintendo developed engine, but it's a feature that doesn't work with Switch. So why is it there? I can only think of one reason it's there, and that is because they're experimenting with high refresh rates, either with Switch 2 or the alternative is they're considering to make PC ports, which could be possible that they're considering PC ports. I would think not. Nintendo keeps talking ad nauseum about how what makes their software so great is the marriage of software and hardware. They've been reiterating that literally through the last financial meeting. So it would be a pretty big about face for Nintendo to be like, oh, now we're putting our games on PC. Okay. I don't think that's what's happening here. I think it's more likely that Nintendo has been messing around with higher frame rates with their engines. Which again wouldn't be applicable to all games, and even this engine has the ability for a fixed frame rate, hence what it's using with Endless Ocean Luminous. But it's interesting, at least, that Nintendo somewhere internally has messed around with higher frame rates, and they've included the ability to support it in one of their current engines that they do actively use. Kind of fascinating. That's all. That's kind of the news. That's kind of, I mean, it's literal news. It's just, is it going to actually be used in a system? You know what I mean? We don't know that, but I do think it's worth talking about, and I do think that as more information gets earthed up, we'll probably have to talk about this in a video tomorrow, because I do think this is really fascinating on what the possibilities could be. And I'm gonna let people that are way smarter than me dive into those files and dig up all the information they can. And we'll see what, if anything, comes of it. Maybe there's more hidden features in this data mine that Switch doesn't support that could hint towards things Nintendo's at least messing with. You know? If you're messing with stuff, who's to say what else might be accidentally leaked in this way with an engine that's been updated? I don't know. Chrono Rick says, I hope they say something about Switch 2 next week. I think we all hope they say something about Switch 2 next week. I think we all hope that. What is your opinion on the censorship A Thousand Year Door? I haven't looked into it. Maybe that's something we can go over on this very stream a little later. I haven't looked into the censorship, so I don't really know how bad it is. The only thing I will say is censorship has been happening with Nintendo of American versions of Nintendo's games for decades. It's not new. So it's not new. So it probably doesn't bother me, but I haven't looked into that particular situation to see how erroneous it is. Let's see here. Have you played any backlog game this year? Yes. I've been still chugging away at that Harry Potter game. Gosh, why am I forgetting the name of it? Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, I've been plugging away at that game on Switch. Also been playing Age of Empires 4, which was some of the campaign in that was been on my backlog for a while. So I'm playing through some of the campaign in that game as well on PC. Let's see here. So there's so many games on my backlog. That's just like scratching the surface. Am I getting Epic Mickey rebrushed? Not at the moment. I don't plan to. I did beat the original Epic Mickey, so I have some nostalgia for the game. But they haven't really sold me. I think it looks nice, but they haven't really sold me. I really hope that what we've seen so far is like really, really alpha footage, and they're like just a bunch of textures they haven't replaced or something yet, because right now it kind of seems like it's half remastered. It's kind of weird. That's just my opinion, I guess. I think it's not just my opinion. I think I've read other people say that too. Days of Old. Yo, Nate. How are you doing tonight, man? Glad to hear about your plans. I'm sure your cruise will be effing incredible and relaxing. Yeah, man. End of June. That's end of June. We'll still be making videos, and we'll still do the podcast that week. I don't know how many live streams we'll do. We might do more live streams. We might do less. I'm going to have more time than I usually do because I don't have any other, at-home responsibilities, right? I'm on vacation. That also means that I might choose to not really do that much. But Nintendo can change my plans. What if they reveal Switch 2 that week? I'll give you an idea. 2 years ago when we went on a cruise, it was just a 2-night, 3-day cruise. Of course, those 2 nights and 3 days were literally when Nintendo decided to announce a Xenoblade Direct, a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct. And so I had to live stream that from the cruise ship. I'm hoping we don't get a repeat of Nintendo Direct / Switch 2 stuff happening while I'm on vacation. But you know what? I'll have equipment to be able to do something at least. I think we're planning to rent a laptop. I'll bring some of my other equipment from home because right now my laptop broke, which it's not that big a deal, but it is a big deal when I'm out of here. I don't want to bring like the Mac Studio with. That's a lot to lug that all the way into the ocean. Let's see here. So in other words, you think Switch 2 might be capable of 120 FPS or more? In docked mode in specific situations, I think that Nintendo's at least messed around with it. Whether or not they'll enable it, like it doesn't cost anything for them to just have it as an option. Assuming that they already have the correct HDMI port and the chips are really cheap for the board inside the dock. There's no real reason that Nintendo couldn't just allow it to exist. It's all about whether developers will use it and can it be used on TVs or monitors. Is it variable refresh rate? Like that's even different. So there's a whole lot of variables at play. But I mean, in theory, look, we know Nintendo's at least messed around with it. They wouldn't throw it in the engine if they didn't mess around with it. So they've at least messed around with the idea of some games running at more than 60 FPS. Apparently all the way up to 240. Not saying that that's going to be a final spec. I'd find it hard pressed that Nintendo's going to support 240 FPS. But 120, 144, I could see them having like a 144 cap. If they want to go with full monitor support, like 144, I could see that being a cap that they might put out there. Again, this is something that we don't know, but we do know Nintendo's at least worked on it because it's not a rumor. It's literally right there in the files for the damn engine for Endless Ocean Luminous. It's right there. It's in Nintendo's engine. It's just Endless Ocean Luminous isn't using it, but it's in the engine. So that is fascinating. That is a tangible thing Nintendo has messed with. So what that means, that's anyone's guess. And if I do a video on it as well, I'll talk about what I like about higher frame rates because I do game at higher frame rates on PC and stuff. So I could talk about some of the advantages I get as like a layperson that's not always worried about necessarily the frame timings and the pacing and the mouse delay. Like I often unplug this in game wirelessly, which does add a little delay. So taking it from a more general gamer sense, what I feel like when I'm playing with higher frame rates and why this might be cool for very specific games. We're not going to get it in something like Smash Bros or anything like that, but there could be certain indie games or certain smaller Nintendo games that could potentially support it. And that might be neat. That might be pretty neat. And what we have to remember is there is DLSS, and maybe that's part of the reason. Because DLSS on those smaller games might give Nintendo the headroom to hit 120 FPS on some of the smaller games. Just throwing that out there. It is possible. So salute to the Bucks. Nuggets will avenge them. I don't know why the Nuggets are avenging anything. The Nuggets don't play the Pacers. So it's not really avenging anything. The Bucks just weren't healthy, man. Dame was definitely less than 100% today. He did not look himself most of the game. He was less than 100. And then, obviously Giannis didn't play. And the rest of the team was pretty worn down. It's life. A lot of changes need to happen for the Bucks. We'll see what happens this offseason. Sean from RGT made an interesting point. He believes there is a chance that the censorship in Thousand Year Door remake is actually due to the ESRB changing the requirements for E-rated games. I mean, that maybe that could be the reason for the censorship. But again, I haven't seen what the censorship is personally yet, and maybe we'll go over on it later in this live stream. Maybe someone can point me to where I can get all the details on it in a nice, concise form, where I can see the screenshots or whatever to see what was changed. I'm sure it's on a bunch of websites. Popped in when you were mentioning a new channel. What is it? Oh, the Nintendo Byte Clips channel. Here, I'll put the link in the chat again. It's literally just youtube.com/@NintendoBytePodcast. But yeah, it's a clips channel. Then we're going to put all the segments for every podcast up after the show. So we did a show last night. Today a clip went up. Tomorrow a clip's going to go up. You kind of see what we're going all the way up to the next show. It's going to be next Wednesday. Featuring, who's on next week? We got our 4 people. And then we have Saffron City TV and Favlam coming on. So you know we got a Pokemon topic coming. And we got, May is packed, man. We got a lot of people coming on. We got Madison coming back on. Ex-Gigglypuff. Remember Madison, who was on a Nintendo Prime podcast episode? She's going to make her debut appearance on the Nintendo Byte podcast. And she'll probably be coming on more often. Like once a month. Kind of like Saffron City does. All right. My 3-year-old just beat Mario Odyssey by himself last night. He has been plugging away at it for the last 2 months. Dude, that is impressive. I wouldn't have been able to beat something like Mario Odyssey at 3. I was struggling to hold the controller at 3. So that is impressive. Good for him. Good for him. Did you see what my Yankees did to your Brewers last week? Yes. I saw the Yankees win one of those games on a call that was interference that shouldn't have happened. You scored 7 runs after that play. Otherwise, the inning would have been over. Little interference there. I don't know how it wasn't called interference because you do not need to throw your hands up when you're sliding into a base. And he didn't just throw up. He looked up to make sure his hand was going to be in the way of the throw. For some reason, you can't challenge those calls in baseball. So, anyways, I really don't care. Yankees, do you see what happened to them today? Your Yankees didn't look so hot today, did they? I really don't care. They're in the other division. I got to worry about us like just making the playoffs and actually getting out of the first damn round. I do like our. I like our skipper. I'm actually kind of glad we don't have Craig Counsell anymore. I like who our skipper is right now. He's doing a good job. All right, moving on beyond baseball. I like Flam and Madison. Yeah, so Madison's coming back on the last show of this month, and Favlam's coming on next week, along with Saffron City. On the 15th, we have another packed show with like 8 people, 9 people. It's insane. Also, hey, did you guys, those that saw the podcast last night, how do you think it went with 8 people? That's not a normal thing. We're not going to have 8 people every week. But did it go well? I was really nervous with so many people that I wasn't going to be able to give everyone, like, make it feel like everyone got to say what they needed to say, and yet also keep the topics concise. Because normally when you have 8 people, you can be on a topic for an entire hour, but we're trying to get 4 or 5 topics into a single 2-hour period. Did I do a good job? I'm trying to do a better job hosting. Trying to get everyone involved and bring everyone in. I'm trying to do it because it's me. I control the pacing. Like, I control the flow of the topics and, trying to get everyone involved. Even Eric was talking. So the fact that we got Eric involved already made me feel like I must have did a good job. I tried to stay out of a lot of stuff. I talked a bit more during the Switch 2 stuff, but I didn't want a crowd. I was trying to just get other people in, but I did get my opinions in on each topic just to make sure. Didn't want to be the silent protagonist. So I thought I did a good job. Again, it's a new type of show for me, so it's also a new type of hosting for me. And I'm trying really hard to be good at what I want this show to become. What me and Andres Restart and Eric Moore, we were the ones that really kind of formulated what we wanted the Nintendo Byte podcast to be. But it's still, a lot of it's on me, making sure that I'm the one guiding it around the room, I'll tell you, ask some ideas on VG News for Teraflop Switch 2 rumor. Yeah, I already know about that. I covered that. DK theme park stuff. Yeah, there's actually a lot of news in general this week. There's also like reports out there about Xbox going full blown third party and bringing every single game, including like Halo, to PlayStation. So we might talk about that on VG News as well. I don't actually have anything written down for VG News, but after tonight's stream, I'm going to be typing up like half the script. And then the rest I'll type up in the morning. I don't know if I'm going to get VG News out when I want it tomorrow, but it will get out tomorrow. I got some extreme parenting to do tomorrow. I'm going to leave it at that. Let's see here. Any updates on Kit and Krista? No updates there. I've reached out to them. They stopped responding like a month ago. So I don't know if they just got really busy or if they're just no longer interested. I don't want to pester them. I have like personal contact information from them as well. Like I have their emails and private ways to get a hold of them, but I don't want to pester them. They did see when I reached out last week, I know they did read what I sent them and they just didn't respond. So I don't want to push too hard. You know what I mean? If they're just too busy right now, or they're just not interested in coming back on, or not interested in the new show, that's okay. I want to kind of just let them be, and they can decide, if they want to come back on at a future time. I'll give it some time. I'm gonna give it a few months, and then I'll reach out in a different method, and I'll see, if they have anything to say. But I'm not gonna keep like pestering them, because then you just sound like you're desperate. I'm not desperate for them to come on. Super Mario Galaxy 100% beats out 60-40 your personal opinion. Well, you can go put your opinions in on that podcast clip. Are we looking too deep into Pioro's post and that it's just going to be something small like an NSO update? I don't think we're looking too deep into the post, because here's the thing. That is one of the possibilities people have brought up, is it could be an NSO update. The funny thing is, every single Pioro leaked NSO update, and he hasn't leaked all of them. He's only leaked, like a few, have all been part of the same thread on X. He started an NSO thread, and every time he leaks something for NSO, he puts it in that thread. This isn't part of that thread. So it makes you feel like it's not NSO related. Plus, we just got the April NSO. Like, we just got that very recently. So I know we're in May, but it's very doubtful we're going to go straight from the April update right into the May one right away. Because remember, he only leaks things like a week or two early at most. So there's a higher chance that I would say the safest bet has nothing to do with NSO. The safest bet is Nintendo World Championships coming back this summer. That's the safest bet, because they did it in 2015. They did it in 2017. They haven't done it since. Maybe they feel like now's a great time because it's a transition period. Let's do it again. Now, I do think they're less valuable today because they have Nintendo Lives where they're also doing tournament events. So I don't think they need Nintendo World Championships anymore. But what do I know? What do I know? Did my chat freeze? Where did that $2 come from? Oh, it's finally coming through. It's just way behind. Jeez. Man. Oh, I got to update the total on screen as well. For those who know the special event that happens if we get to a certain total. $10. And where are we at? 98 cents. Thank you so much, guys. I'll just go ahead and take a sip of beer just for fun. Rip to my bucks. All right. Do you like squirrels? Well, they're in my yard every day. I don't hate them. So there you go. My dog has yet to kill one. Actually, my dog stopped chasing after squirrels. He used to do that. Hey, we got a Dragon Roost. That's right. $2 super chats, member chats. $2 for your first request, $5 after, or your member chat. You can request music. I don't even have it open right now. Where is Spotify? Drop this bad boy off Spotify here. We gotta delete this. Delete that. Dragon Roost. I don't have a button for it anymore. I used to have a button for it, but I don't have it anymore. All right, let's go ahead and... No, that's not what I want to do. No. I want to do this. Add to playlist. There we go. All right, here we go. Get a little Dragon Roost for you guys. This is the... No, not NSYNC. There we go. We got the 0 version of it playing right now. There you go. All right. Thank you so much for the song request. I appreciate it. Aquatus, I just got home from work and I'm about to boot up Endless Ocean Luminous. I'll let you all know what I think. Cool, man. It was a good show. I do hope it occasionally goes off the rails, but I like the new setup. I mean, we're trying not to let it go too far off the rails because we're on a very concise schedule. We went a little over time in our first episode. We really want to end like right around 2 hours. Now, we did start a little bit late, so I was okay with it going a little bit later, and I didn't want to cut anyone off when we were having good Switch 2 discussion. One of our topics ran a little long before the Switch 2 discussion, and that was because it got a little off topic. But I don't want to be rude and just tell people, hey, stop. Like, I'm trying not to be rude when it goes off topic. I'm just trying to like steer it back on topic after a bit. So anyways, it's not going to get like really crazy like it did under when Jake Randall was around. But it doesn't mean there won't be moments. You know, this is still a podcast ran by me. There's going to be moments. There's going to be several moments. I just can't let it go too far. I did get people involved. Oh, thanks, Sky sort of. Yeah, that was one of my goals. So I'm trying to be a better host. About the Xbox rumor, some people online say it may be completely wrong. I just hope people will understand it's still a rumor. Like, it's still they're online. I mean, it is a rumor, and it doesn't mean like the Jez Corden never said like when they're gonna start doing this, so it still could be, you know, years away. But I mean, it's still secret. We already know what they've done publicly. They've already kind of started the whole bringing games to PlayStation, and like a lot of the. I think what's going to further the conversation is this summer at the Xbox Showcase on June 9th that they announced. Yeah, there's going to be a ton of multi-platform games, like Call of Duty. So, like, you can kind of tell when Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard that they were already leaning in the direction of going more multi-plat. And look, their system isn't selling well. So, what do you want, man? They want people to play their games. They can't just keep them exclusive when people aren't like buying their systems. And I know part of the problem is because they didn't have exclusives, but then, you know, so I don't know. It's whatever. I mean, people also forget part of that rumor was they were still going to make Xbox hardware. That's part of the rumor too, that they weren't actually abandoning hardware. They just weren't going to be like, oh, everything flows through our box. Like, no, it's on everything. But we're going to try to do some cool things with our box that might make you want to buy it anyways. Like letting you sideload Steam was one of the things brought up. Let's see here. But we'll see. Just a rumor, you know what I mean? So I know that Jez is considered fairly reliable. He's gotten some stuff wrong, of course, as pretty much everyone, but he's pretty reliable. I think you should ask Austin Evans or Jacob R to be on your podcast. Hey, fun fact. I've actually talked to Austin Evans about being on the show. Absolutely. I've actually talked to Austin Evans, and he did respond. Credit to Austin Evans for responding. I don't want to go into everything. I talked to him back in January and the beginning of February. And he basically just said that my podcast is a little too late for him because he's home with the family around that time. But he would potentially be willing to come on a show if I tell him that we're going to do a show earlier in the day. So I may plan a July episode. I'm thinking maybe June, maybe end of June, but probably July episode during the day. And I'm going to see if that will work for Austin Evans. But he did respond, and he is interested in coming up. He loves Nintendo, man. He's got lots to say about Nintendo. So we might he is possibly going to come on. But that's all I say is possibly, because nothing's locked in yet. But I was surprised he responded and he actually had mutual interest to be on the show. It just needs to be at a time that he can make. So, as for Jacob R, there was a time I used to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in forever. Is he still making content? I don't even know. Is he still making content? He's still making content, right? Yeah, he's still making content. Dude, I talked to him a long time ago. I can reach out to him. I'll leave his channel open. I can reach out to him. See, we're booked up for this month and most of June. But I can reach out to him. I like to schedule way ahead, so. Let's see here. Dance. They are making a sausage party show, Sausage Party Foodtopia. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I'm almost surprised that didn't exist already. Wait, what do they support? May support. Higher frame rates in docked mode. It is in a Nintendo engine, a new game that just came out. You might know Endless Ocean Luminous. Has an engine in it that is Nintendo made. It is a Nintendo made engine. It's used in the Mario Party games. It's used in the WarioWare games. And Endless Ocean Luminous is using a newer version than any of those games had. And in that version, it has up to 240 FPS support. You'll know the Nintendo Switch doesn't support 240 FPS. So why are they messing around with really high frame rates in one of Nintendo's engines? Now, Endless Ocean Luminous runs at a lock 30 FPS, but it's very fascinating. So, it's actually a thing Nintendo has messed with. Whether or not it will be allowed on Switch 2 in docked mode, I do not know. And again, people are going to get really excited about it, but temper expectations. It's only going to be for the small games, right? You're not going to see 120 FPS in the new Zelda game. But could you potentially see it in a side-scrolling Kirby game? Could you potentially see it in a bunch of indie games? Start seeing 120 FPS? In docked mode, yeah, maybe. You and I can't see more than 50. Okay, we can see more than 15 frames per second. Do you know how many frames? Okay, correction. Our eyes don't process the world in frames. That's a digital thing. But do you know how much information our eye processes? Every second? It is an insane amount. It is an insane amount of data that our eyes process in just a single second. It is crazy. It's so insane what our eyes can process in a single second that it's almost unbelievable. Science. Your eyes can't see past 50. What, have you been tested or something? How would you know that's the specific thing you can't see past? I can understand some people just don't feel. Oftentimes, frame rates isn't about sight, it's about feel. I want to be clear. Frame rates are often about how the game feels while you play it, not what you see per se. It's a smoothness to the gameplay is what frame rates usually add. Which is why 60 FPS in movies, when people do movies in it, it can seem kind of weird because it can be a little smoother than you really think it should be. But a lot of that's because we've been trained our whole life to have 24 frames a second in a movie. So a lot of that is just, it's jarring because, so few films support it. Even though we're constantly watching 60 FPS stuff on YouTube, we're not accustomed to movies being that way. That's why they call it a cinematic feel. Slick Rick Street Talk. Oh, we got some Outcast. All right. I see what your style is. Stake is high. All right, got it. All right. Turn off the background music. Here we go. Got you, buddy. Thank you so much for the $2, man. Cheers. We're at what, $12.98? Go ahead and update that total. Thank you for the support, guys. I appreciate it. Every dollar helps support what we do here. When is Nvidia going to give us DLSS implants? I don't know. When we're gonna unleash the nanobots to heal all of our wounds? SOH feels very different at higher frame rates. Yeah. When is Nvidia gonna give us? Oh yeah, I read that. When I used to play Genshin on PS4, I think it ran around 30. Upgraded PS5, the frame rate was way higher. It is a smoother feel, like you said. It feels faster, more fluid. Yeah, that's the thing about frame rates. Like people always talk about, oh, I can't see above 30. I can't see above 60. Or I read this article about how you really can't process beyond 24, and that's why I moved. No, we can. It's a combination of feel. It's a combination of senses, right? How the gameplay feels between you interacting with the controller versus what's happening on screen, combined with what you're obviously processing with your eyes. It's a whole total combination where it's just factually true that games are smoother the higher the frame rates are. Like well beyond, like you might go, well, why do you even need 240? Dude, you would be surprised how much extra smoothness you can feel in a gameplay experience, especially like a twitchy shooter, like a Counter-Strike or something. Like if you're rocking 400 FPS, now there's not a lot of monitors that can display 400 FPS, but let's say you had a monitor that could, you actually have a slightly smoother experience than somebody who's only rocking 200 FPS, which gives you technically a smidge of a competitive advantage because you can be more accurate with your shots. Will you be more accurate? No. Just having high frame rates doesn't make you good at a game. What it does technically give you a tiny competitive advantage. But again, none of that matters because you have to have skill first. You can get skill. You can get skill at 15 FPS. It's that's not the point. It's just the higher the frame rates, the smoother the experience, the more accurate you can be with your clicks and your, you know, it's very hard to explain unless you just experience it. Because obviously a lot of console gamers haven't experienced much past 60 FPS. There's obviously some games on PlayStation and stuff that do 120, but it's hard to explain unless you've experienced it. Like, it's just a way smoother gameplay experience. Like, just factually, higher frame rates are better. Caveat, higher frame rates are better, but you don't want them massively dipping. So you don't want to be running like 120 FPS, but then keep having to dip to 80. Because that dip, that massive dip, like that's like a 40 FPS dip. That dip, if that keeps happening, you'll actually feel it in the gameplay. It'll come across to you as jitter. Even though an onlooker could be watching and say, oh, that looks completely smooth. Like, I'm watching right now. I didn't even realize your frame rate's dropped 40. It looks completely smooth to me. Because they're not playing the game. They're not the one hitting the buttons, clicking the mouse, using the controller, and feeling the literal difference when that frame rate drop happened. It'll feel like a hitch. Even though to other people watching that aren't controlling the game, it won't look like it's hitching. It'll feel like it. It's so hard to explain because it's literally, you just got to play the games. So it's better in cases like that to like have a locked FPS, like lock it at 100 and have no dips, than it is to just... Now, variable refresh rate, what that tries to do is fix some of that perceived jitter. That's the VR variable refresh rate is a really cool technology, and that it really does help with some of that jitter and those massive drops. But you know, it's still not like, obviously ideally you just don't want to have massive drops in general, but that's where variable refresh rate comes in. What do you think happened with Nintendo and Forever Entertainment partnership? I think we'll see them remaster any Nintendo IPs. Yeah, I have no idea, man. Maybe. I don't know what's going on with that. Scott said, yeah, exactly. When I moved the character, he just snapped real fast and the camera moved much faster. You do really have to experience it to see. It's pretty wild to me. Yeah, like it's a feel. It's so like and there's a chance like if you're playing at 60 FPS and then 75 FPS, you might not feel much of a difference. But going from 60 to 120, even going 120 to 200, it's literally just a feel. Very, very hard to explain until you actually experience it. But it's once you experience it and you get really used to it, you'll understand why some people complain when console games are 30 FPS, like Thousand Year Door. You'll understand why a lot of people will complain about that when they're used to playing significantly higher frame rates, because no matter what you say, no matter how much we go, oh, it looks fine, oh, it plays fine, oh, it doesn't impact gameplay that much. In reality, to people that are used to playing 60 or above constantly all the time, that 30 FPS is very jarring. Not unplayable, just jarring. So like that's the thing to understand for people that do complain about things like 30 FPS in console games. A lot of it is because to that individual person, it is extremely jarring because they're used to playing at higher frame rates, and it's very noticeable to them. Might not be noticeable to you if you're not used to that. So then you might go, well, do I want to get used to it? I'm like, well, it is nice. Look, it's a smoother gameplay experience, and it's better gameplay, right? Smoother gameplay experiences. And that's one thing, like Nintendo cares so much about gameplay. I could see why they might support like 120 FPS mode or something on Switch 2 for certain TVs or monitors, even up to 144 hertz or 240 as the setting lets them go to, because for smaller games, I can see where Nintendo says, hey, there actually is a gameplay advantage to this that makes it a better experience. And if we have the headroom to do it in docked mode with smaller games, why wouldn't we support it? It doesn't cost us anything extra to support it, so why not? So, have you played Celebrate yet? And what do you think of the controversy around it? I played the demo. The demo was fine. Well, what controversy are we even talking about? Is it the censorship thing where like they updated some clothes and now like some of her cleavage is covered a bit more? Okay. Well, when you're running around with her, that ass is still up in your face all game long. So don't really care about a little bit of the cleavage. I get it. People are thirsty over digital characters. I think there's more important things to be upset about in the video game industry than the thirst trap of cleavage being slightly more covered, but still technically very revealing. Not that big of a deal. At least not to me. Who cares? There's so much bigger things to be mad about than, oh my gosh, the booby crack right here. Instead of it being all the way down here, it's now up here, like, you know, a few centimeters. Who gives a shit? It's not like they said, oh, here, now you're seeing nipples. Now we took the nipples away. You just see a little bit less of the boob crack. And don't get me wrong, I love me some cleavage. I'm not talking about man movies because that's not how I flow. If you're into that, that's cool. That's not for me. My fiance has got a nice set of tatas, all right? I enjoy myself some good cleavage. But this is a video game character. Who gives a shit? Seriously. I can understand. Okay, let me do this way. I can understand if the censorship was about a prawn. Right? Somebody went out and bought a adult film, and that film itself censored everything. It blurred everything out. I can see where you might feel a little ripped off. You bought that specific thing for those moments. And if those moments are taken away from you with censorship, I can see where you might be a little mad. In a video game that's about kicking ass and taking names, why do we care? I don't get, like, is it notable? Oh, hey, they updated some costumes and the cleavage is a little bit less cleavagey. Cool. I almost would have, if I were them, the devs, that would have been hilarious. Oh, everyone's bitching. All right, guys, we're gonna force a patch right now that gives I don't know. Is her name? I don't even know. Is that her name in the game? Stellar Bay? I can't even remember. Just because they're a flat ass. You want to piss them off. Let's take her ass that's in your face all game. Flat ass. Take the ass away. Really light the internet on fire. You're bitching because we covered a centimeter of cleavage. Now she's got no ass. Have a good day. It's a flat wall. Like that's what if I was the developers, that's how I would have responded to this I would have been like, really? This is the controversy? Fuck it. Flat ass time. It would have been as a joke, and the next day I probably would have, put it back to normal, but it's just turn that shit into a Lego brick. Just like that's how irrelevant it is. But what we discovered is something we've always known. There's a lot of simps on the internet for digital characters. That's really what all the bitching to me is about. A lot of people simping over digital characters. Now, I realize that this digital character is modeled after a real world model that many people find attractive. I understand that, and since you're never going to be that close to that real world model ever in your entire life, this video game character represents the closest you're going to get. Dude, there's probably already, if I had to guess, when this game someday comes to PC, people are going to make nudity mods for it anyways. So if you're that thirsty, just wait for the PC version, all right? Someone will take care of you. Man. And part of me goes, like, some of the people mad about it, I'm always like, man, are these people outing themselves as like, hey, I've never been with a real woman? I don't want to make any assumptions here, but like once you've had the real thing, I'm just going to be completely honest. I could think digital characters look good or whatever, but once you've been with a real woman, digital ain't shit. Digital don't mean a thing once you've had that real thing. I'm just telling you. So I'm outing a lot of people having issues. And if that's what you're complaining about, I can only imagine why you might be having issues. Are you complaining that a girl you like suddenly wore a top one day that covered slightly more of her cleavage, so now you can't jack off in your mind more? You're a little bit less bricked up? That could be why you don't know what the real thing's like. Okay, that's a blanket assumption. Obviously, I don't know why people get mad about that shit. I think it's obviously I'm just having fun here. I think it's dumb. Let's see here. When I move the character, he just sorry. I saw you guys all laughing in the chat and stuff too. Hopefully, I didn't go too far. I thought I did a good job dancing the fine line there. And I'm a pretty honest person with these conversations, so we don't actually know if Nintendo will announce the codename or the next gen hardware in May. Yeah, no, we have no idea. We have no idea when they'll announce anything. We care because developers specifically promised they wouldn't censor the game at all, and then they proceeded to break the promise day one by censoring the outfits and gore. Now, if the gore was censored, that's a different thing. Obviously, I don't know. I didn't hear about that because everything I saw online was focusing on the stupid costume changes. But I will also say, like if it's day one, so the game just released, and the only reason that you might be aware that there was more cleavage or more whatever is because of a demo or because of prior footage. But the day the game comes out, they covered up a couple centimeters of titty. I'm just saying, there's so much, like, I don't even care if they promised we would never alter a damn thing and then they, changed the color of a purse or some shit. Who gives a fuck? The gore part I could maybe understand a little bit because that could be like a visceral part of the gameplay. But dude, when you're playing Stellar Blade, you're literally staring at her backside like 99% of the, I played the demo. You're literally looking at Baby Got Back 90% of the gameplay. So I just don't, I find this to be an asinine thing to bitch about. And no matter what they promise, it's their video game, not yours. They could be real dicks and just yank your license and not give you a refund. Of course, that would probably cause a massive lawsuits, but still. They lied to us. All right, cool. And Nintendo lied to us and said the 3DS doesn't exist, and then they announced it a week later. So, I mean, look, should we be angry at Nintendo for lying to us? Like, look, companies lie. It happens. It's almost like they're made of humans for now. Wait till they're all AI. Can AI lie? Because that requires intent. Can AI have intent to lie? Fascinating. Probably. I don't know. Can it have intent, or is it just programmed that way? See. Now my mind's going down the rabbit hole. Mentioned the fact that nonetheless the devs chief said they would be true to themselves. What if that is true to themselves? What if the true to themselves was, man, you know, cleavage was a little too much. That's not really true to our vision for the character. What if that was them being true to themselves? We know we're not in the dev room with them. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what the conversation was, why the decision was made. I just don't think it fucking matters. Look, I'll just say this. If that pissed you off and makes you want to get a refund, or that pissed you off and now you won't buy the game, then don't buy it. I think it's a very superficial thing to give a shit about. Now, the gore, that censorship's a totally different thing. I didn't see much on that, but probably because the internet wasn't as ablaze as it was over thirst traps. I mean, look, I guess they could make it up to him someday and offer the hot tub stream DLC. Just slap her in a fucking bikini and have her bounce around as you give, you know, you buy some virtual currency and just start throwing it at the screen like this, making it rain, and get her boobies to bounce or some shit. Maybe they'll make that up for you in some fucking DLC. Put that shit on Twitch. Oh, man. Indeed. That may have been the truth. That is the dev opinion, and they changed their mind. Yeah. Yeah, again, we just don't even know. Most people think Sony forced them to. Well, hey, I know this. Can't blame Jim Ryan. For once, we can't blame Jim Ryan. He's no longer there. Nobody got time for that. You'd be surprised how many people would be willing to buy virtual currency. I have seen VTuber style, like, it exists, these live streams where people throw money and then they get the VTuber thing. It's like, oh my fucking God. You know, that's not like, it's probably a dude in real life, right? You know what they used to say about girls on the internet when you couldn't actually see them? They're guys in real life. That's what we called them growing up. If you're not seeing them physically in a physical form in a video feed, and it's an artificial character, it's probably a guy in real life using a voice modifier and suckering all you simps into giving them all that money because they know how easy that money can be to make for certain crowds. By the way, I'm just messing around. I know that's not all. I don't even know if that's any of the damn VTubers. I'm just saying that was a common thought process growing up, that a girl online's a guy in real life, and it's not because girls don't use the internet. It was just because there was a lot of guys pretending to be girls via text. You know, you go into like the chat rooms. Hey, what's your ASL? Everyone was lying all the time. So you'd be like in a sexting chain with someone, then you find out like halfway through they're a dude, even though they said they were a chick. So that's like where it all came from was, and don't ask me why I know that. I was a teenager once. Yeah, today we call it catfishing. Back then, that's not what it was called. It was just, there is no girls online. They're just guys in real life. That's what girls stood for. Yeah, a lot of the OnlyFans chatters, not the pictures of the female, but a lot of these really popular OnlyFans people have companies that handle their chat requests, because one of the things you can do on OnlyFans is you could like buy a certain tier where you can message the person and they'll message you back. And a lot of the people handling those messages with you aren't the actual creator. It's the company that's working for the creator. Then it's usually a bunch of dudes. You're not supposed to know that, but it's become a very well-known and well-reported thing. It's not against the law, by the way. It's It's interesting. There's maybe a moral compass they're kind of crossing with that, but then again, when you're resorting to the 2-inch destroyers page on OnlyFans, look, I'll just say that I don't think you're worried about your morals at that point. Only stands. Oh man, I don't know what I would do as a kid if I grew up with something like OnlyFans. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. Growing up, I was horny, man. I was just a horny mother. I don't know, dude. I had 56 kbps internet. You couldn't even get videos to load. I had to rely on Victoria's Secret ads. So imagine what the youth can do today. They got access to so much shit. It's kind of dangerous. And I got kids myself, so I'm like paying real close attention to every IP address getting pinged in my network, because I need to know what my kids are doing. Top 3 countries you want to visit before I die. Countries? Oh, no, I've been to Canada. Let's see, countries. I wouldn't mind going to like the castles out in the UK. I've always wanted to visit the castles out there. So there, I have a deep fascination. I know Rome. I heard Rome's really dirty, but I have a deep fascination with just like the Roman Empire stuff. So even if I don't go to Rome, I'd like to see some Roman ruins and stuff. It doesn't have to be the Colosseum, but there's like a lot of Roman ruin buildings that you can go visit in Italy. So I like to go there. And then the last one, you know, part of me wants to say Japan just because of all of the Japanese culture I've consumed since growing up, and that's why a lot of people will always want to visit Japan at least once, just for the culture. But I honestly think I would like to go to Australia, just to visit, not to stay, just to visit. I think it'd be a fun vacation. I think Australia would be a really fun place just to go. You know, stay for a week. I don't really know why. It's not the kangaroos. Like, I don't really care about that. I don't know what it is. I kind of always wanted to go to Australia. I don't know. I don't really have a reason. Just always wanted to go. I'm just here for entertainment purposes only. Let's see here. Yahoo chat rooms. Yeah, there was AIM chat rooms, Yahoo chat rooms. There was a bunch of chat rooms back then. One of the few things that would actually load on a 56K internet. It's pretty bad. Man. Like, thinking back to internet when I was a kid, man, and where it is today. And like, I'm sitting here like biatching to this fiber company because I want them to get fiber in my area. And I'm just like, man, the internet speeds I have right now as a child to me would have just been mind-blowing. I can live stream video to others from my house and it doesn't lag like this, and it's 1080p 4K. What? I could do that and watch videos at the same time. Watch unlimited video feeds pretty much. Holy crap. In 4K. I don't know. I've just always wanted to visit Australia. I don't really know why. I don't really have like a... I don't really have like a specific thing I want to do when I'm in Australia. I just always wanted to visit. I might regret it. I don't know. Might go swim on the beaches and die. Beats the hell out of me. I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe all the spiders will get me. Maybe I'll get punched by a kangaroo. I don't know. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of deadly things in Australia, but for some reason I've always wanted to go. Just once. I'd be the guy that dies, right? That's just my luck. I would finally go, oh man, Australia's great. Good night, mate. I walk like 5 feet, get bit by a spider, and I'm dead. Right off the plane. Just right in the airport area, I get bit by a spider and I die. What the couldn't even get out of the airport. Yeah, so if I stay in the two biggest tourist areas, Sydney and Melbourne, I won't have to worry too much about wildlife. Yeah. But there's other places like I still haven't gone to Hawaii. I want to go to Hawaii. I want to do an Alaskan cruise sometime. I think that would be really cool. Is there anywhere else in the U.S. that I specifically want to go? I've pretty much been a lot of other places in the U.S. I want to go to Super Nintendo World. But been to the Grand Canyon, Niagara Falls, New York. I've been all over the place in the U.S. Yeah, I've been to Niagara Falls and the Grand Canyon. Yeah, it was beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. New Zealand might be really, really nice to visit. You can see everything in New Zealand on a day. I was just gorgeous there, though. There's like some of those crazy hotels I'd always like to stay in, you know, that like have like the pool in the room that like literally it's like an infinity pool thing, but it starts in your room and then you can just like swim outside and like you don't have to worry about bugs or anything because for some reason the bugs just don't come in your room. I don't know how they do that. How do they keep the damn bugs out? Beats me. Go to your hotel, there's 5 kangaroos and 70 spiders. Yeah, they're all fighting out. They're on a territorial fight. I walk in, I open the door. Well, honey, do you have the boxing glove? Oh, fuck, I'm dead. Look, Barrow, Alaska, you can't drive there, no roads lead there. You have to fly there, and only 1 month out of the year you can take a boat. Interesting. I don't know if I was always going to go on an Alaskan cruise. I mean, you could literally like leave from like Washington or like the top of California, and there's like cruise ships that'll take you from there up there. Like you don't even have to fly to go on a cruise up there. It'd just be on a longer cruise, but. Huh. Trying to think, is there any other countries like I've ever really, really wanted to visit? I always thought like a trip to certain parts of Africa would be interesting. It's not like in my top 5 or anything, but. Heard Antarctica's nice this time of year. Yeah, Antarctica's great this time of year. I'm gonna go to Germany for real this time. Yeah, dude, I would say going to Germany one time in my life to actually enjoy Oktoberfest would be great. I could only imagine how wild it is in Germany for Oktoberfest. Just one time. Just one time in my life. Oktoberfest in Germany, baby. I feel like it would be just insane. Just one time. Just once. I probably couldn't do it more than once, but just especially, you know, I'm getting older now. But there's enough youth left in me. Just one time. One Oktoberfest in Germany. I think I got that in me before I die. I got one. I got one of those in me. What's up, people? Except nobody goes. There are people technically that are. They're like scientists and for study purposes. ARC's officially launched for Windows. Has it? I know it was in beta. I'm on my Windows computer right now, so it's officially launched. Oh, Joshua, did you get the name of the add-on, by the way, that the extension I use that doesn't work with Arc is hold on. This I use it for my live stream, so this is why it matters. It's how I do all my featured chats, because for some reason the Streamlabs one just won't work. I'd like to use the Streamlabs one because it's more customizable, but I mean, this one's actually pretty customizable. What is it called? Stream Ninja? I think it's called Stream Ninja. No. Okay, where's my extensions? Oh gosh. Under settings, right? No, here it is. Extensions. Manage extensions. Yeah, it's called Social Stream Ninja is the name of the add-on that I can't get to work with Arc. For those who don't know, Arc guys is a web browser that is it's Chrome, like so many other browsers, right? It uses Chromium, but it is very lightweight, very lightweight. And the one thing I like about Arc the most is actually how it organizes everything. For those who don't know, I am a tab whore. I am a tab whore, but I'm a tab whore for work purposes. And the way you can organize tabs is awesome. Now, they did add, to be fair, Chrome did add a recent feature where you can organize all your tabs a little bit better now than just having a billion tabs open. You can actually, I forget what the feature's called. What is it? It's called, they call it a doc. No, they don't call it a doc. I can't remember. I don't have it turned on right now on Windows. Anyways, there is a feature in Chrome now that lets you organize your tabs a bit too. But the way Arc does it is so convenient, and it's real. I've noticed when I'm doing research and trying to do a billion things at once, that Arc, I'm just faster on it. That's all. I'm literally just faster. Like even right now, like just look, this is just while I've been live streaming. By the way, I opened a brand new browser to start my stream. Look how many tabs are already open. This is just during the stream. And there's reasons for each of these tabs. Ooh, Arc is playing music to me. Did it do this on, I don't remember doing this on Mac. Here. Meet the internet again. I don't remember music on the Mac one. Maybe I had it muted. Oh, I have an account. Hold on. Crap. Do I remember the login to my own Arc account? I know it's my business email. Did I just create a randomized password? Oh, good. Thank God. All right. So, guys, this is Arc, and I'm not an expert, right? You can go on here. You can enter your URLs. Like over here, what's the, like, click on, like, so you can have like things that are like up here that are just kind of always loaded. Like, I'm not gonna click on my email, and I'm not signed in on this browser right now, anyways. In fact, I don't have any of my stuff imported. Hold on, I gotta remember how to import my stuff from Chrome. It did not carry over any. It did not sync. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Hold on. Settings. Set as default browser. Okay. And then I'm trying to see here. Import from another browser. Got it. Yeah. So here, I'll show you guys quick. So like, it's very easy to import if it doesn't ping it for you when you sign up. You go here and you go to import from another browser, and then these are the browsers I have. It's like Chrome. Which account do I want to not Yulia's. I want to import mine. I'll probably import. No, I'll just import mine. Hit next. Which Arc profile should we import to? My existing. Yep, it's fine. Import. And bada bing. Bada bing. Select all that. Now the vidIQ is asking me to log in. Everything's gonna ask me to log in. Anyways, Arc's really cool. I'm gonna close it right now because I'm not gonna go through all the setup on it right now because I have to get all my stuff reorganized in it because I organize it differently than I do on Chrome. But anyways, the point is, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. I really like the browser when I'm like right now when I have all these tabs open, I'm way more organized on Arc. Like sometimes I'm clicking around like, oh, what was this tab? It's way more organized when I'm on Arc. And like things that I always have open, like my email or the YouTube backend and vidIQ and other things, like quick access with these bigger icons where it's just always there and it's not like a standard tab. Love that. Arc's just got a lot of cool features. Joshua Gibb can go more in depth. I'm not like an expert with Arc. There's certain things I'm not even using with the damn browser. It's just nice. So, it's just nice. It supports a lot of Chrome, because again, it's Chromium. It supports a lot of the Chrome add-ons, but there are some, like the one I talked about, that I have to use for live streams that it doesn't support. But it's all right. Let's see here. Matrix dozens of cases of tab a day confirmed. Tab? One, this is Coca-Cola. Not tab. Also, change windows here. Turn on Arc Sync from your Mac. Yeah, I could do that. I already have things organized on my Mac. I still use Chrome. Dude, I'm kind of a browser whore. There's things I like about Opera too. Joshua Gibb, when's the last time you used Opera? Opera's got some sweet features. There like isn't any one specific browser I feel like has everything I want in a browser, but that's because I'm just weird. All right, I'm just weird. Let's see here. Then you have Maxthon. Eric loves Maxthon. Maxthon is like the fastest browser known to man. Also, half the internet doesn't work on it. Part of the reason it's so damn fast. Some features aren't here yet. It's all right. All right. You probably got me beat, but my iPhone has 230 tabs open, so I really... Oh, dude. Is there a way on iPhone to just close my tabs? How many tabs do I have open right now? I have 206. $206 tabs. There's a way to close them all, isn't there? I thought there was a quick way to close them all. Maybe there isn't. Is there no quick way to close them? Most of these tabs I could probably close at this point. I don't need them open anymore. I definitely am not using all 206 anymore. Although looking at my tabs just reminded me of something I need to check. You found a bug that will close them all? What's another thing? Oh yeah, I wanted to check on I wanted to see if I got sent my intro yet. The intro I paid for. Oh, she did. She delivered it 4 hours ago. Here is your jingle. I hope it's what you're looking for. All right, guys. You guys want to hear what might be the new intro for the podcast? Again, haven't given her any feedback yet. You guys want to hear the new intro? You want to hear the new intro for the podcast? Again, This isn't the finalized version, and I haven't listened to it yet. Here we go. I have no idea what this is going to sound like at all. I have not listened. I know what the lyrics are, but I haven't listened to it. I'm sure you can always use that. It's fine.
You stop by for the Nintendo bite. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing Peaches until the sun lights. Summer shoots his beam so bright. Master Hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast. Put the soul back to visit your past. Welcome to the Nintendo Bite podcast.
Hell yeah. Dude, that is so much better than I thought it was going to be. Oh, I like it. I like it. What do you guys think? She did the exact style I told her to. So if you didn't like the style of the song, that's me. I told her to do that style. What do you guys like? That's the intro there. Now there'll be. The thing is, that's just the music. Now I have to get like some animation work done for it, which so let's turn down the volume on it a bit. It's not blowing your ears out. And let's listen again. It also helps that I know what the lyrics are because I wrote them.
You stop by for the Nintendo bite. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing Peaches until the sun lights. Summer shoots his beam so bright. Master Hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and...
Hold on. Did she say Samus's name incorrectly?
night, singing Peaches until the sun lights. Summer shoots his...
Samus? Is it? How do you? Is it Samus or is it Samus? I might have to have her correct the pronunciation on that. That's okay though. I get edits and stuff on this. This doesn't have to be final. I'm pretty sure it's Samus. Pretty sure it's Samus, not Samus. That's okay. I can send her that correction. She said it in the original Smash Bros. Announcer way. If that's how the Smash Bros. Announcer says it, that's fine then. I'll have to go listen to the Smash Bros. Announcing way.
For the Nintendo bite, you got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing Peaches.
What was that lyric on the Bowser? She changed that lyric a bit.
Bowser, you can listen all night.
I don't know what she's saying there. That lyric is supposed to be... Well, she messed with the lyrics, which is fine. I told her she could. But what did she... What was that lyric supposed to be? That's the thing. I paid for this, so I mean I'm going to be a little nitpicky if it's a little too different. Hold on. Oh, okay. No, she said it right. I forgot what the lyric was. Okay. Yeah. I get. Okay. Yeah. No, she said it right. She said it right. I forgot. You have to have both lines together. I forgot what I wrote.
Listen all night, singing Peaches until the sun lights.
Yeah. Yeah. That was literally my lyric. Like Bowser, you can listen all night singing Peaches until the sunlight. Yeah, that was my line. Yeah. She did it right. All right, I'll play the whole thing. Hey, I'm trying to be nitpick. I paid for this. I got to see. Yeah, the vocalist is good. Oh, I knew she was good when I hired her. Now, she didn't have any examples in this style, so I asked her if she could do it. She said, yeah, I like it. You'd have to listen. Here's the thing. I think in the, what I would do in the animation, because there's going to be some sort of animation, I think what I would do to help the viewers that maybe, because I heard someone say they couldn't understand it, I could have the lyrics come on screen and they can light up, you know, like a lyric song. I could have the lyrics on screen as part of the animation. So then you could literally see what the lyrics are. She sings it, and then it'll bop even more in your head. No hate towards her right away. I think it's too long. I wanted it to be 30 seconds. It's 29. It's actually a second shorter than I wanted. But there will be. I think I put the lyrics on screen with the animation. The animation's not done. I needed this done so the animation can be made for it.
You stopped by for the Nintendo bite. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing peaches until the sun lights. Summer shoots his beam so bright. Master hand always brings
his. Okay. Did I write his? No, I did not. So she altered that lyric a little bit. Okay, I'll have to let her know that it's a her. Okay, so we'll have to correct that. Yeah, that's a correction. She did change my lyric. I didn't have a his or her in my lyric. She changed it, but it's fine. The way she changed it is good. But it just needs to be a her instead of his. Okay, sorry. I'll let the whole thing play this time. I literally caught that. I'm just taking notes here, mental notes, so I could let her know about that lyric needs to be changed. Okay, here we go.
You stopped by for the Nintendo bite. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing peaches until the sun lights. Summer shoots his beam so bright. Master hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast. Put the soul back to visit your past. Welcome to the Nintendo Bite podcast.
Do you guys get all the references? There's a lot of references in there. I like it. So the only thing I think of is changing the his to her. That's like my primary feedback. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to listen to it again. Sorry if you guys are getting annoyed by this song. I really like this song. This is, I'm actually, like, this is better than I expected. The his to her thing bothers me, but we'll get that fixed. We'll get that fixed.
You stopped by for the Nintendo bite. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing peaches until the sun lights. Summer shoots his beam so bright. Master hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast. Put the soul back to visit your past. Welcome to the Nintendo Bite podcast.
You know what's funny, too? For all the flack I get about having Ocarina of Time outside of my top 10 Zelda games, a reference to that game is one of the primary lyrics. A reference to that game is one of the primary lyrics. As much flack as I get, I do love Ocarina of Time. Oh, it's a good song. All right. I can give her a little feedback here. No, it's Master Hand always brings the fight. I know it. It'll make more sense when it's on screen. It's not ready to fight, it brings the fight. Yeah, I didn't put a Kirby reference in. I got references, obviously, to Bowser and then the Mario movie with the Peaches thing. And then I just wanted to put the Triforce in, so that's one of the first lyrics. And then we have Metroid with Samus, Smash Bros. With Master Hand, Pokemon. One of the games, one of my lyrics got cut out, I think. I don't think the fire, I think the Fire Emblem lyric got cut. Listen one more time. I'm pretty sure the Fire Emblem lyric got cut. I had a Fire Emblem lyric. But the thing is, she couldn't get it all in. I knew my song was a little too long. So I think the Fire Emblem, I had a Fire Emblem line in here.
You stopped by for the Nintendo bite. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing peaches until the sunlight. Summer shoots his beams so bright, Master Hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast, put the sword back to visit your past. Welcome to the Nintendo Podcast.
Yeah, dude, I like it. I like it. I like it. People are always gonna. It does. The Fire Emblem line got cut, but that's okay. That was the one. That was the only reference that got cut of all the game references I had. That's the only one that got cut, and that's fine. I like it a lot. You keep hearing trifles instead of triforce. Really? Where's it? It made sense to me. Let me listen closer. Where is crap? Did I just close it? I can just reopen it.
You stopped by for the Nintendo bite. You got the Triforce in it.
No, it's clearly Triforce. It's clearly Triforce. I would have Mike Odyssey do it. You know, Mike hires people too to do his songs. I would know because he gave me the suggestions of the people to hire, but this wasn't one of his suggestions. I like this. This is so much better than I thought it was going to turn out. All right, I need to message her quick though. We got to get the Samus line fixed. So she said, "Any changes you would like me to make?" Yes. I'm not ready yet. I need a revision. Here we go. Yeah. I mean, and again, I get some credit. I wrote the lyrics. She altered them a smidge because I knew I had a few too many for the length I was asking for it to actually sound good. But and I purposely didn't say put the Master Sword back to visit your past. I didn't put that in the lyric because when I was writing the lyric, I was like doing a similar beat in my head to what she ended up doing. And it got too wordy saying Master Sword. So that's why I shortened the lyric just to sword. Because it fit in better. And if you know your Zelda history, you'll get the reference regardless. All right. Let me go ahead and just give her the feedback on the Samus. Excellent work. There we go. So I put in the request to get that changed. Cool. So we might use that jam on the next podcast, but the animation probably won't be done. The animation is going to take time. I'm getting a fully custom animation. It's pricey. It takes time, but it's going to be pretty badass. Gonna be pretty badass. I like it. I wonder how Andres is gonna respond to it. If he knows anything about me, he'll know this is my kind of jam. I'm gonna message him right now. I'm gonna send it to him and see what he says. I bet you he'll hate it. Yeah, I don't think it's his kind of music at all. All right. And while I wait for Andres to say something, we get back to the chat and drop our background music again. Your favorite part's the end of the song. Yep. Sounds fire. I really do like it. I think a lot of people are going to like it. I think people will be shocked on Wednesday when we bust this out, because we've never had like a custom song like that for anything on our channel before. And who said they didn't like it, but it was growing on them? It's catchy. That's the one thing is, I told her I want it to be like a 90s pop song and just be like super catchy. But we have all these references in there for gaming in these lyrics I wrote. So like the references are really important, but I want it to be catchy. I want it to be this thing that, like, you know, if I have like this lyric version of it, people will memorize the lyric and just start bopping to it like every week. Like one of the favorite things I look forward to isn't even the show. It's the start of the show, and people don't want to miss it. So we get like a huge crowd at the beginning of every show just because they want to bop to that beat when it drops. Once the animation is done, can you post it as a standalone video as well? You know what? I could post it as a standalone video and use it to advertise the Nintendo Byte Podcast Clips channel. But no, she did a great job. You'll be back later if you're still live. I probably won't be. We're already a little over time, and I got to start working on VG News. The scripting and stuff for it. I was planning to actually record it today, but I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of caught up in the Bucks today, even though they ended up losing. Animal Crossing should have had a reference. See, that's the thing. I'm always gonna get flack because Zelda got 2 references. And you know, you could have replaced the one reference with a different game. But if anyone knows my history, you'll understand why. Of course, Zelda got a double reference. Zelda like kicks it off, and Zelda helps end it. I don't know what you were listening to in the 90s, Aquatone. Now, I get the Garfunkel and Oates vibes. By the way, I like Garfunkel and Oates. They're hilarious. But there are definitely 90s jams that have that kind of bop going to them. But it's an original song as well. So, all right. Let's see here. Don't remember who it was, but someone said on the podcast that Metroid was part of the big 3 for Nintendo. I disagree. The third part of the big 3, Splatoon. Ah, man. The big 3. Obviously, Mario, Zelda at this point. I mean, Zelda's always been sort of considered part of the big 3, but there's arguments that it wasn't. And then Breath of the Wild Tears that kind of solidify that. But the big 3 has nothing to do with Metroid. It's Mario, Zelda, Pokemon. Maybe the only person I can see making that argument would be Andres Restart. But it's very clearly Zelda, Metroid. I'm sorry, Zelda, Mario, Pokemon. Those are clearly Nintendo's big 3. And then if you want to go past that and start going like big 5, then you can get into things like Animal Crossing and Splatoon. Those would probably be the next 2 up. Yeah. Those would probably be the next 2 up. would be Animal Crossing and Splatoon. Well, see, Dead Man Walking 89, we said the big five. We didn't say your personal favorites. Metroid and Star Fox just aren't very popular. It can't be part of a big five when you have an Animal Crossing game that sold 11 million and now one that sold 40 million, and Splatoon games that keep selling over 10 million. Like, at some point, you got to recognize that, like, those franchises are just bigger deals overall. You might prefer Metroid or Star Fox, but they're not as big of a deal for Nintendo as the franchises that actually sell a lot, you know? Yeah. Look, the best-selling Metroid ever sold 3 million. The worst-selling Splatoon ever outsold it, and that was on Wii U. Nintendogs reference. Tall Show wanted me to check out, read your at from earlier. Oh boy, what are you trolling me with now, Mr. Sam West? I'm scrolling up. I'm not seeing it. Oh, Aquatoba was the one. It was growing on you. Well, hey, you know, you're only gonna have to hear it once a week, Aquatoad. I'm not gonna throw it at the beginning of any of the clips. The clips are all gonna be their own thing. There's not gonna be an intro or outro for the clips. The clips are literally just cut out that segment of it, upload. Cut out that segment, upload. There's no fancy editing or stuff done for clips. Because those are it's not gonna be, it's more like segments than clips, but I do want to repurpose some clips for like TikTok and stuff eventually, but that's assuming that TikTok's even gonna be around. I still don't see. I see you saying she's spitting. The jingle is Tingle's theme. Is that what you said? I have no idea. Right after Justin. I'm like pretty far up in the chat at this point. I do not. I mean, I'm almost to the end of how far it'll let me scroll. Did you at me correctly? Yeah, I can't even scroll any higher. So yeah, just repost it because I don't know. What's going on? Oh, you were agreeing with Aquatoad. Oh, yeah, about it sounding more like an early 2000s. To be fair, there's a lot of similarities in the early 2000s pop music to 90s pop. Because like late 90s pop sounds a lot like early 2000s pop. So it's like, even in the 90s, I would argue there's like different eras of pop music. Just as someone who grew up with it. Plus, I do like early 2000s pop as well. But I just like pop in general. I don't know if I've ever not liked pop music. You found it. It's not very high up. Well, maybe not very high up on your screen. But he's apparently going to repost it. Never could stand pop music or rap or much of anything that was pop. So none of the music I like, thanks. That's all right. Hey, if you don't like the intro, it's not the end of the world. It's literally a 30-second. If you can't bear through 30 seconds for the show, oh well. I like it. I think most people will like it once they hear it. It's got a lyric mistake in it, but otherwise, I'll play it one more time. We're gonna be ending the show a bit, anyways. I just really like this bop. All right, one more time.
You stop by for the Nintendo bite. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing peaches until the sun lights. Samus shoots his beam so bright. Master Hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast. Put the sword back to visit your past. Welcome to the Nintendo Bite Podcast.
There you go. Now, again, there's a mistake. I already, she referenced Samus as a him instead of a her, so I already responded to get her to fix that. I hopefully shouldn't have to re-sing the whole thing, but I mean, she's the artist putting it together, so I don't know. Yeah, his beam, yeah, instead of her beam, yeah. But I listened to it pretty carefully. Because I only get so many edits of it, and that was like just literally, hey, it's my fault. I wrote the lyrics, but I told her she could mess with them a little bit if to make it fit better. And then she took a line. I never clarified whether Samus was a him or her in that line, because the original line is Samus shoots beams that shine so bright, and she edited it a little bit to fit the way that she said the prior line, and so she added in the him when it's a she or a her, however she wants to reference it. So, anyways, she'll get it fixed. She obviously just didn't know who Samus was. Like, this is a professional artist. You know, they probably don't have a lot of experience with Nintendo. And Samus, again, Metroid, niche franchise. Do not expect people that don't actively play Nintendo all the time to know who the hell Samus is. I'm telling you. It's just not. It's niche. Anyways. The original manual said he. It did. The original manual did reference Samus as a guy. He really kept it a secret all the way to the end of the game. It was pretty cool. Your chat window hates me, apparently. Apparently, man. You know Samus from Smash? Yeah. Anyways, so that's the one correction I sent her. Everything else sounds fine. And then we'll have the lyrics on screen. Yeah, it'll be good. I like it. There'll be lyrics and there'll be an animation. But that's going to take a while. Custom animations, even like 30-second custom animations, especially since this animations has so many references. Right, so you got like the Nintendo by Podcast stuff and the logo and animating all of that. You got references to Zelda and the Triforce. Then you got Bowser, which I literally want like a Jack Black style Bowser. Doing the Peaches line. Then you morph in the Samus, which could literally morph into her shooting that beam into shooting it at Master Hand. And to catch them all and use that fire blast, I want that to be Charizard using the fire blast. Then you have your Ocarina of Time reference of putting the sword back to visit your past. Anyways, there's just so many. It's not like one scene that's just being animated for 30 seconds. It's like morphing scenes. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's just gonna take a long time to make. I would be surprised if it takes a month or more for the animated intro to be completed, because I'm getting that custom made. It's expensive, but it's gonna be badass. You were hooked immediately, dude. Metroid's amazing. Like, anyone who tries Metroid usually thinks it's awesome. Bama! Man, we were streaming a smidge later, and Bama Hut shows up. Bama, Bama, All right, congratulations to Sebastian, the Hyrule Hero, Reckon YT, and I Sonic, along with Dr. Martin Van Nostran. You're late for a very important date. Yeah, you missed me. You missed the new intro music for the podcast. It just came in. There's a small edit they got to make, but otherwise... Will there be an animated version of you in the intro? Probably not. We'll see. We'll see. I had thought about having an animated version of me, Eric, Thunder Steve 85, and Andres Restart, kind of behind. Towards the end, when we get to the Welcome to the Nintendo Byte podcast, it comes up. Where the logo comes in, and then you have all four of us kind of come in behind the logo, all doing like a thumb up or some other thing. I had thought about that. So I have an idea for what I want all the animation to be. It's just getting the person to do it, and it's expensive, but it's gonna be pretty cool. You should have a little, no. Bama. We don't have Jake lurking because this is a brand new podcast. He's never been on the Nintendo Byte podcast, but we have a subtle Jake reference in that the background in the final image is a brick wall behind us. So we got the brick wall with us and the logo. And if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But you'd only know if you know. You'd only know if you know. Subtle reference being bricked up. If you know, you know. And it would just look nice. So a lot of people would just think it just looks nice. But here, I'll play it for Bama Hut quick. I warned it's a little loud. I'll try to turn it down some more. Here. Lily loves this, by the way. Don't mind that Samus is referenced as a dude. That's getting fixed in the revision. Here you go. Last time I'm playing it tonight.
You stopped by for the Nintendo Byte. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing Peaches until the sun lights. Summer shoots his beam so bright. Master Hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast. Put the soul back to visit your past. Welcome to the Nintendo Byte podcast.
And it'll be a fully animated intro, but it's going to be a bit for that to come together. So I'll put together some temporary imagery intro thing that I can put together. Pretty easy. Daniel Clinton. Yikes. KK Slider is all bricked up. Should have put that in the lyrics. KK Slider is all bricked up. When I play Mario, I get one up. Dude, I'm actually pretty good at coming up with lyrics. Setting aside the style of the song, do you like the lyrics? Because I wrote the lyrics. I used to write a lot of songs when I was younger. So I like to think I'm good at it, but maybe I suck. I don't know. There wasn't really like I was debating how I wanted it to go. Like, did I want it to be like a slow introduction of what the podcast is? Or did I just want to go with a bunch of references? And I was like, you know what? I think I want to go with like a lot of references to different franchises, since that's the kind of stuff we talk about on the show. So I didn't really go with like trying to tell a story in 30 seconds. So I just wanted it to be catchy with lots of references. I love this. Starts with the Triforce and ends with the Master Sword reference. Yep. That was intentional. Because you guys know my Zelda history. I was trying to like maybe only put one reference in, and I had several different versions of the lyrics. Because my original version had a Fire Emblem reference as the final one. But I told her that if she had to trim down the lyrics, then I want to start with the Triforce and end with putting the sword back. Because any trimming of the lyrics would ruin the flow of what I was trying to do. And she trimmed out the Fire Emblem one, which then said, okay, cool, let's put the sword at the end then. So she listened to what I said if she had to cut a lyric, which I told her it was okay. She really wanted to emphasize the welcome to the Nintendo Byte podcast at the end, which makes sense because that's what the jingle is for. So I just thought for the kind of show we are, it made sense to go with references. I could have told the story, but didn't feel like doing that. Let me see. Yeah, thanks. And again, this is someone that I paid for on Fiverr to make it for me. I liked some of her other work, and she did a really great job. And if you're wondering why maybe you didn't understand her perfectly, she's technically a UK singer. I'm a sucker for UK singers. I don't know I'm just a sucker for them. I just like the accent. I don't know why. I just do. I just like the accent. Yeah. And I wrote it, and then I just had her do the performance and put together the harmonies and stuff. Which is, by the way, a lot of work to do. Writing songs is a lot of work. And like how I want it to be thematically. Like I sent her a sample of like me kind of singing it. And I was like, hey, and she's like, oh, would you like me to clean up your voice? Like, no, don't clean up my voice because I can sing a little bit. I'm like, no, don't clean up my voice because I don't want it to be my voice because we have four people on the show. It's no longer the Nintendo Prime podcast. It's the Nintendo Byte. I want it to truly feel like it's us four's show, even though I might be the person who runs it. So I was like, no, I don't want it to be actually my specific voice. Hence why I went to a neutral party. So she basically did it very close to the style that I was doing it. Ah, there's Andres. That's who I was waiting for. Wanted to show Andres. Oh, it won't send that way. Hold on. I'll email it to him. What is it? It is... There it is. There we go. All right. Sorry, I was emailing something to Andres because I couldn't send it over Messenger. Let's see here. Bruce Dickinson is the best UK singer. Are you the 4 gigabytes? Kind of has Pauline and Mario Odyssey vibe. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's stream. Thank you guys so much. I have to start putting in some serious work here on the script for the VG News. There's a lot of stories. I'm going to have to chop her down to even make it feasible tomorrow, but I'll figure it out. Remember, it's the biggest stories of the week, so we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for being here. Catch you in the next live stream, which is Monday. It's going to be a bit.